Let's get ready to start up now.
Maya Angelou said, if you're going to live, leave a legacy. Make a mark on the world that can't be erased. I'm Martin. This is Donald and Curtis. We're native New Yorkers. Welcome to Season 3 of the Road to Legacy podcast.
Together, Martin and I have worked in hospitality for about almost 40 years. And we've been truly blessed to meet people from all walks of life. And in those conversations, it led us to question, what is legacy? What is the driving force that motivates people to do what it is that they do? That passion led us to create the Road to Legacy podcast.
And hey, I'm Curtis, the newest passenger on this Road to Legacy podcast, a student, lover of history, and I'm just super enthused, man, to be along for the ride with my brothers, discussing, debating life, politics, and race, and everything in between. Just hope you come and join us on this quest of seeking, learning, and above all, leaving a legacy. Grace and peace from the Road to Legacy.
What's up, people? Welcome back. Martin, it's good to see you, man. We haven't done this bit.
It's been a minute. But it's been a good minute. It's been a good minute because there's a lot of stuff been going on in between the times that we've been off and on. And, you know, we just need to make, you know, as time goes on, our podcast a priority. But there's so much going on. We have to put things in front of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you guys are watching this and seeing this right now, definitely hit that subscription button, because as you know, when you subscribe to our podcast, it helps us to continue doing what we do. So tell a friend, and tell a friend. So, you know, like Martin said, there's been so many things going on, stuff with Trump. Like every day there's a brand new event that is taking place. There's some things that are happening in an administration that is that it shows where this country truly has been for a really long time. You know, but before we get into all the political stuff, we just want to talk about what happened over the weekend and the reason why the guest that we're gonna have on in a little bit, while we are speaking to him. So over the weekend, we did an event with HeartShare St. Vincent, which happens to be a group home. It's a nonprofit that merged with St. Vincent Services. St. Vincent Services was the group home that I grew up in. I don't know if you all know this, but I grew up in a group home from the age of 14 up until 21. And so over the weekend, I was honored to work with HeartShare St. Vincent's on producing this event. So we produced this event. We booked the space for the Dream Hotel, Dream Downtown, and we put together this amazing event. We had Jay Alexander come through, who is the founder of FUBU. He was the guest that was honored, and he spoke, and we had a really, really incredible conversation just about growing up in foster care, growing up in group homes, what that was like. And so Martin and I put together that event that took place over the weekend. Chris Beverly is a young man that I happened to meet maybe about 2 weeks ago now, because in that event, and for the event, what we did is a group discussion. And like I said, we all talked about what it was like growing up in a group home. So Chris Beverly has an incredible story. This young man, I believe he's 24, maybe 25. But Chris Beverly, as you'll hear shortly, has gone through some very traumatic things in his life. He was stabbed, he was shot. And this young man has an app that helps low-income people and also people who leave out of foster care and group homes to find housing, to find programs, to find things that are going to help them to get themselves established out here in the world. And we all know how difficult it is sometimes to find housing in a city like New York. Things are so expensive. So he put this app together to help other people. So we're going to be talking to him in maybe another 10 minutes or so. He's going to come on.
Just to see what he's thinking about, you know, and why he is part of the HeartShare family, because HeartShare, from what I know about HeartShare, why are you involved with HeartShare? Why did you want to do this? Why did you want to put this together and help them find a venue?
Yeah, well, I got to give a shout out to somebody who constantly inspires the thought, which was you. You inspired the thought. You encouraged me to reach out to Eric.
I didn't know I did that.
Yeah, because Eric was actually our very last podcast.
Oh,
Eric
yes.
is the director of group homes who
Right.
works for HeartShare St. Vincent's, and so you were the one who sparked the idea to reach out to him and to get back involved with group homes. Why is it important to me? Is because that's the environment that I came from. That's where I grew up. And after I left, I went back and worked as a staff there. They call it group home parents or staff. And I think it's really important for me and for us to constantly give back. That's what we do. And so one of the reasons that I wanted to do this event is, one, to get involved with HeartShare St. Vincent, which is a nonprofit, and we work with nonprofits, but also to work on giving back to the next generation, to the younger generation, because there's so many young men and women who need hope.
Yeah, so the HeartShare. Let me just ask something technically about what we're doing right now. So
Yeah,
with
sure.
StreamYard right now,
Yes,
are we on Instagram?
we are
Also?
on Instagram right now as well.
We are. So on the top of our we're live on Instagram. So on the top of our Instagram page on Road to Legacy is the thing that says that we're live.
Yes, it says that we are live.
Okay. I just wanted to know. So the thing about, back to what we were saying, the reason I asked that is because I just wanted to know where we were at, and if anybody else is out there listening or watching what we're talking about. We're basically talking about basically giving back. So Donald had set up this venue at the where was it again? It was
at Dream Downtown.
At the Dream Downtown Hotel,
in the Electric Room.
Right, which is a big hotel downtown Manhattan, very popular hotel. Since we've been in the hospitality industry, because you do see what we say in the beginning when we open up, we talk about we've been in the hospitality industry for years. We know a lot of people. So for those who do have an organization, especially if it's a nonprofit organization that needs help, please, you can call us, you can text us, you can Instagram us, you can Facebook us, wherever you see this, you can do it, and you can, we'll give you our email and everything at the end of this podcast, and we'll say this again. But HeartShare is basically a program, from what I know, Donald knows about it a little more, that is a nonprofit who has an umbrella, and that umbrella covers where Donald, the company, and the organization that Donald went to the group home under. So the group home is under a church. And right? Am I right or wrong?
Yes, the group home is called St. Vincent Services.
So St. Vincent Services, basically, I guess they might have needed some help at some point, and HeartShare came in. Now, HeartShare is also an organization that deals with developmentally disabled people and gives them services. So if you have somebody who has an issue and a problem in their family or a mental issue, they give them services. So one of the guys that we know that was on this podcast, I think it was the last podcast we really did.
Yeah,
Eric. Eric is an old friend of Donald's in the Bronx from back in the day. Eric is now one of the people who works for St. Vincent's under basically the HeartShare community. Yes, HeartShare, I'm continuing to learn about HeartShare, but Donald was able to meet some of the people who work there, the CEO of HeartShare. Also, he was able to meet this gentleman, like he said in the beginning, this gentleman called Jay Alexander. So Jay Alexander is one of the founders of one of the biggest Black clothing companies in the United States. And Jay Alexander was in a group home. And
he was adopted. He was adopted.
Right. But did he live in the group home for a minute?
No, he never lived in a group home. He was adopted from a young age. And it's a story that he actually never really shared with anybody else. He broke it for the
He's sharing
first
it
time.
now on Road to Legacy.
Yeah, he's sharing it now on Road to Legacy.
So
But
yeah,
he shared
yeah.
he you know, it was his first time really coming out to talk about it during our event, which was great. And he was able to kind of just give us a piece of his mind and talk about what it is that he went through in foster care, you know.
Right. And he the reason he was there was to support HeartShare, right?
Yes,
Right.
that's
And
correct.
support HeartShare. And the reason you did it is to support your St. Vincent's and also HeartShare and so forth and so on. And we're going to have Eric on again soon, just like we're going to have this gentleman. This gentleman that's coming on, was he also in the was he part of the group homes family?
Yes, he was in the group home, and it looks like he just joined in right now. But Chris was also in the group home. I believe he was in Staten Island homes.
So let's bring him in and introduce him.
Yeah, absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are bringing to the stage Chris Beverly.
How you doing?
Good
Hey,
afternoon,
brother. How you
brother.
doing, Chris?
How you doing, y'all?
Chris Beverly. Chris Beverly. That's great. It's great to see you're the founder of Youth Navigators.
Navigator, yeah.
Navigator or Navigators?
Navigator.
Oh, okay, all right. And what is that all about, Chris? I mean, you met Donald, but you didn't meet me yet. I'm Martin. I'm the
Nice
other
to meet
half
you.
of the Road to Legacy podcast. But and I'll tell you exactly. I don't know if Donald explained everything of what we do and why we're interested in what you do. But explain to us a little bit about what you do and how you came to this point.
So first off, yeah, my name is Chris Beverly. I'm the founder of Youth Navigator NYC. Basically, I use my lived experience to build an AI tool to help individuals that come from foster care and are surround that situation, like families, justice, reentry, things like that, to kind of get access to New York City resources that, like, I think were like really viable, that are like kind of scattered all across, that are provided, but people might not necessarily know about. And the reason why I did that is because I was in a situation where I needed a little help, a little guidance. I'm looking around and, I was getting information late or not getting information at all from the individuals who were there to help me. And what I found interesting is after I got myself help, someone who was close to me, they also used it and got some help. And then that's what kind of ticked it into my brain. Like, okay, maybe this is something that could grow into the community.
And go ahead. I'm sorry, Donald. You go ahead.
No, you're fine. I was just gonna ask if you could take us back a little bit, Chris, because I know Martin was asking about what you do. And as you're explaining that, can you just go back and tell us like your upbringing, how you grew up, what are some of the challenges that you faced and stuff like that?
Okay. So I grew up in Flatbush, Brooklyn area. But I've always traveled a lot. I'm Jamaican. I got Syrian, Ethiopian, all these different types of mixes in my family. So I'm also I have like different religions in my family, like Christians, Jews, Muslims, stuff like that. And so it's always been like a big part of my background, as well as me also, like, a lot of my family members are like a part of like music, rap groups and stuff like that. Or like, so it's like grew up running the streets, gang affiliations, stuff like that. But like me, I've always been like a hustler. I wanted to do like some type of business. So being a youth, growing up in the hood, you go early into like drug dealing and stuff like that. And then from there, like I went into starting my own business. Yeah, I've always been a hustler. I've done marketing, I've done production, I've made designs, I've built shirts. So I kind of always, while I was hustling, kind of was still building up my business acumen until I got more and more comfortable in a legitimate business space.
So you're still growing.
So yeah, now I got a full legitimate business, and Like I do marketing, I do production for different companies. I've worked with Moses the jeweler. I've done production and market campaigns for artists. I've gone on tour with Ron Suno. When Pop Smoke was alive, I was on that tour as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, like so I've done a lot, like elevating myself slow by slow, working with different marketers, working with different individuals to kind of grow and expand. I've also even done crypto and
Ah,
stocks. So
right.
like I've jumped into many different lanes until I kind of found my own niche.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, the reason why I was asking about going back is because both of us grew up in group homes, right?
Okay, okay.
I'm you and I, Chris, grew up in group homes. Martin didn't grow up in group
Nah.
homes. He's from he'll tell you straight up that he grew up in 149th Street in the Dunbar apartments, and it wasn't the hood, it wasn't the projects and all that good stuff. I told him it was the hood. He grew up, so we're representing many different age groups here.
Agent.
Martin is
Yeah.
like back from like the 1940s. You know, I'm from the 80s and you're from the 2000s.
Yeah.
But our Chris, you and I, our era of growing up in a group home was very, very different. I grew up
Yeah.
in first group home I went to was Richmond Hill. After that, it was Springfield, and then ended up at Jamaica, which was my last house.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was in the group home, how crazy things can get sometimes. But one of the things that I will say about the group home is that it saved my life. And what I
Okay.
mean by that is before being in the group home, I was on the street. I was, you know, hustling. I was doing my thing,
Yes.
etc. And I got put into Richmond Hill, and the experience was different for me because I didn't grow up with brothers. You know what I'm saying? I had two older
Okay.
sisters. I was the only boy, the youngest one. And so I was moving into a brand new environment that I didn't know what was going to happen. I was always on edge. I had to keep my head on a swivel because I'm moving in with 11 other guys.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was like, all right. But then over time, all of those people that I grew up with became family, like brothers. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to
Okay.
know what was your experience like
It
growing
was not the
up.
same. Like I feel like okay, I've had different besides like at Hardshare, that wasn't my first time in the group homes. Like I was in a ROC, RTC, I think they call it. I don't know what they call it now. Children's Village, where it's
Yeah,
like a large, massive land where they just put us in houses, right? So, like I've had different types of experiences, like besides just like group home placement, like just formally group home placement, like in society. They also
mhm,
have ones where they take you away from society. So I feel like my experience a lot was more like survival of the fittest, kind of, you know?
mhm,
Like a lot of people, like you make friends and cliques this year, but those could be your enemy next year.
yeah,
Like, the staff like are helpful, but it's like you can't really get confused with that because like, like a lot of times you'll think a staff is for you, but or with you, but they're with you for that time, especially when you're moving around group home to group home.
Mhm.
Like I didn't really have stability in the system till I went to hardship.
Mm.
mm.
But
What
before
I'm sorry, I cut you off, Chris. You go.
before hardshare, I didn't really have stability. Like I went from Mercy First, I went from the ACS building to Mercy First to another type of one to Children's Village, back down to like a JCCA,
Mhm,
And then you live with people who are also locked up serving time on juvenile time. You're locked up with people who are migrants who are separated from their families at the border. This is the time when Obama's president.
mm,
Like I was living with migrants who were separated from their families, like children of them, who were
Mhm.
all the way up in Children Village. So it's very dangerous situation, because they might not necessarily like our race, and that's a whole like you're already pre-educated on the jail system,
when
Mhm.
you
you
know?
when you were in Children's Village.
Yeah. Yeah. And like all those other programs up those upstate programs where they have those lockdown facilities and
Mhm.
stuff like that, because they don't allow you to integrate or communicate with the communities that are around there.
Mm,
Right.
that's right.
Yeah, and
So even if you're not like locked up, even if you're just there for ACS,
Mm-hmm.
now,
you know,
now
like all the jobs and everything is on the land. It's like indentured servitude.
hmm,
Mm.
that's what age were you when you first went into like foster care?
Like 12, 13. I got arrested. I served my time. My parents didn't come get me, and I went to Children's Village.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And you had brothers and sisters, right?
Yeah, I have siblings.
And then, but those
They
brothers and sisters didn't come with you to Children's Village because that's
no
the
no
motto on Children's Village is that they say that they're supposed to keep families together.
nah yeah, but no, but like it's separate things. Like my second time, I was placed into ACS, but like okay, like that's why I said I have other experience. I was locked up. Like I'm not gonna act like I was the best kid. I got locked up as a juvenile. When you
Mm-hmm.
get locked up as a juvenile, you go to family court.
Right.
When you go to family court, let's say they give you a month.
Mm-hmm.
After your month is done, even for you to get probation and stuff like that, your parent has to be present.
Mm.
If your parent isn't present, you go from being in the juvenile side to now placed on the ACS side. And now you have to stay in that same facility just on a different side. Or they might move you to like a children village or something like that. But you're still like, you know what I'm saying? Like the government takes charge of you, but it's like they don't give you no more liberties. Now
Yeah,
that
you're
you're
in the
free and
system.
stuff like
You're in
that.
the system, and you get what everybody knows that the system doesn't give you, and that's not much.
Yeah, and you know
That's,
it's not a choice thing. Like a lot of juvenile justice kids don't know that they have been in foster care, which means that they don't know that as adults they also basically apply for those benefits.
okay. See, and that's one of the reasons why I'm glad that Donald asked you that question, and why we're talking about it. It's not all about getting into the business and seeing. We don't do podcasts where we want to see how bad things were. What we're trying to do is educate, influence, and inspire people. So there's going to be somebody out there that either went through what you went through that can say, "Wow, I didn't know what you just said." So can you say that again? I didn't get it all. So one
It,
more time
so which part? Sorry.
about the. I'm sorry about the care and about the foster care and the benefits.
Okay, so like this is kind of how they get a lot of people. So like a lot of individuals who were locked up in juvenile justice,
Mm-hmm.
like if their parents didn't right away get them, even if it was a day, a couple of days, they spent time under ACS's care.
Right. So if the parent didn't come to the court to represent them or
Yes,
pick them up,
yes,
then they have to go back into the system.
yeah, but under ACS's care.
And ACS, can you tell what ACS is for all the audience? What that
That's the
ACS means?
Administration of Children's Services for New York City.
Okay, right.
So they basically are like the government agency that handles that, and then they would place you with a provider like Children Village or
Mm,
JCCA
got it.
or like one of those or Heartshare
Mm-hmm.
or Vinny Boys or whatever like. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like okay, but if you were there for 3-4 days, and now let's say you're 20, 21, 23 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and you're looking for housing, you should be able to go back into foster care and get them to push start your process because you spent time in
Oh,
foster
got it.
care.
Wow. I'm sure there's so many people that didn't know that, man. Wow, that's
Yeah,
great. Yeah, that's
and,
great information.
yeah, that's why I'm working to with my platform to educate individuals about the system because like a lot of times we go through these moments in the system and we block it out of our minds because it's a bad moment.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but then
Yeah.
we're going through issues of struggle and we're going through problems, and these are the times when some of these things might come up that could benefit us. We could apply for an extra program or two that could be the difference between homelessness or the difference between continuing to live off your trauma. You know?
So that app, let me just ask this last question. That app, if say I'm going through some issues that what you said, I'm 21 years old, I'm 20, I don't know when you get out processed, but I'm 20 something years old. What you're saying is that are you building or have you built the app that I can go to and get this information and apply?
Yes,
Wow,
yes. It's a
wow,
P.
Chris, that's remarkable.
Yes, yes. It's a
Go ahead.
PW. app that just provides all the free resources in New York City. It just puts it all together for you. So
Wow.
instead of you having to go 15 different places
Yeah.
and try to really figure out what you got going on, you get on my platform, and it's not just until you're 20. If you're 99, they got stuff for you. You know, we prioritize the youth because that's where the funding comes from for now. But I built the platform to be able to help everyone: a father, a uncle, a son, a daughter, a aunt.
Are the kid the kid himself?
Yes.
Yeah, because we're very. I mean, being in an environment like that, I know I was unorganized at that age. I was in the military. That's what saved my life. I was in the Army for a while. I went in when I was like 18 years old, 17, 18 years old. So that gave me a little structure because, I didn't have to go and find my way through things, where you're building an app that's kind of like a parent that's kind of like telling you where you can go. All you have to do is go to this app and figure out where you got to go. So that's amazing. And who's funding that? How are you getting that funded? And is it complete yet? And what do you, well, we'll talk about that at the end. I just want to know what you need to make this happen more.
I mean, currently where we're at right now, it's currently a website. It's up. It's a PWA website. So sorry about that. It's
It's
a
okay.
PWA website, so you can download it without going to the app store. The reason why we did that is because we're working with individuals who are less fortunate. A lot of times, they might not have access to even the app store.
Right. They're in the library.
Yeah, so with or like they might owe some money to Apple, and sometimes when you owe Apple money, they don't let you do nothing.
Right.
Uh, and it's self funded at first. We just got a contract through one of the departments in ACS.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Wow.
yeah, so we're heading up there. We also have a couple other different partners and initiatives coming in to work with us, but it's
Wow.
mostly self funded.
But where did that drive come from? Like where did you get the drive and the idea to push forward and then it seems like you didn't let anything that was from your past affect how you're moving forward. So where did that all come from?
I mean, I've always been a leader in my community. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you grow up in New York, especially like I'm Jamaican and stuff like that, and my parents are first generation Americans. So that's a lot part of the reason why I went through my struggles is because abuse to them was normal. So I entered into
What do
life
you mean by
already
that? What do you mean by that? I'm sorry
like
for interjecting.
in the Caribbean, physical abuse, verbal abuse is a very common occurrence. It's how people interact with each other on a daily basis. So because my mother did this or because my father did this, I should do this and that. That's kind of the consensus a lot of times in our communities, and especially like I said, my parents being first, well, my mom mainly being a first generation American, she didn't really like she's still learning about the culture of America.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So she brought over a lot of the stuff that she learned back home, which
Yeah.
isn't conducive for here at all, legally or just for the times. But me growing up doing that, like I still saw and got to see strong women and men in my community, and I saw them work very hard for others and different things. And I always just told myself at a young age that that wouldn't be me. Like I wanted to make sure that like I built like I had something,
Mm-hmm.
and even growing up in the hood, growing up in Flatbush, which is like dangerous. Sometimes people try to take stuff from you, and I never went for that. So because I never went for that back then, I'm definitely not going for that now.
Mm-hmm.
I've been shot, I've been stabbed, I've been through a multitude of different situations. So I've learned about like consequences for actions. But at the same time, I also know about having drive and having that belief in oneself. you know. And thankfully, like I've always had individuals who have always pulled resources with me and believed in me from the very beginning, and I'm always very thankful. Like Lauren, one of the people that you met.
Mhm.
But I think a big part of that is to getting what you want is knowing what you want. And I've
Mm.
always known what I wanted. I wanted my own. I didn't want to work for nobody. I never wanted to work for nobody. You know, and that's always been the drive when I build things and and when I do things. Like, how can I put myself into this situation where I can become a leader, where I can make impact in a way where I can be a have a say. You know, because it's one thing to have a vision, it's another thing to be able to get it done, to actually get it built out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it's always incredible for me when when I see a young black man who has come from a similar environment that I grew up in, and also Martin to an extent, to develop and to grow to help other people. And like what you're doing, Chris, is truly amazing because you're allowing access to things that people have a very difficult time with, especially in New York City, how expensive everything is, coming from a broken family background and not necessarily having the knowledge or information on how to navigate. You're making it easier for people to do so. And that's one of the reasons that, you know, we wanted you to come on, is because everybody needs to know about what you're doing. And you know, again, especially coming from the background like what you came from, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes people, like in the human experience, we can go through some kind of trauma and it will stifle us, it will stop us, and we don't know where to go, or we'll either go completely downhill. I mean, I know just like you, I grew up with cats who, you know, after leaving the group home, they either got locked up or they got killed, you know what I'm saying, or they got a bunch of kids all over the place. And fortunately for me, wasn't my situation. It's also not your situation. Like you said, you went through a time where, you know, you got shot and stabbed, and you didn't allow that to stop you. You know what I'm saying?
Never.
One of the questions that I have about that experience, though, what did you learn from going through that experience?
I'm not bulletproof. Like I think uh, no, that's that okay, like I think
It took you to get shot to
being
figure that out, right?
yeah, no, because when you're in the streets and
Uh-huh.
you're doing well, like a lot of young people, and not even just young people, there's a lot of older individuals too that still been doing what they've been doing for a long time. And you know, you get to a point in your mind where you think like, okay, I'm untouchable. Or like, you know, like you know you could die, but you like you in your mind, you're like, nah, this money, this whatever you got going on. But a lot of times, like not like you reap what you sow, but it's like you put yourself in predicaments and you put yourself in situations, and you might even think like, oh, I'm not doing too bad, or this, that, or third, but you still put yourself in those situations. And you know, we get big over our heads sometimes, especially when we're successful. Sometimes we start
Mhm.
feeling ourselves and we forget that we human. And in my particular situation, I thought I was untouchable. You couldn't tell before I got shot and stabbed. You could not tell me I wasn't bulletproof. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you couldn't tell me. I'm like, yeah, I'm black, I'm rich, I'm doing business with Jewish people, I'm doing business with Chinese people, with white people, private jets, going here, we going there. You couldn't tell me nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But then it's like I said, I got shot, I got stabbed, I almost lost my life. And that all hit me. It made me realize the value of who I am as an individual, but also made me realize, like, okay, like this, like any day this could happen.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to start taking better precautions. You need to start living a little better. You need to start doing things a little right. And like
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I feel like it's unfortunate in our community that a lot of individuals we have to temper ourselves and learn in unfortunate environments.
Right, right.
You know, like prison, like they talk about Martin Luther King versus Malcolm X. Martin Luther King learned in college, Malcolm X learned in jail, but they both read the dictionary and the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
right? But people sometimes they somber on Malcolm X because of where he learned.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm trying to say?
Yep.
But learning is learning, and but we should stop pushing hard learning on individuals. We should want more brothers in college. We should want more
Can you
brothers
can you say that
reading
again?
books.
Learning is what? Learning is.
Learning is learning,
I love
but
how you said that. Go ahead.
we should want more people in college.
Mm.
We should want people learning easier and learning from our stories. And I think this is why a podcasts like these are very important, because getting people's stories out and getting people to speak about their stories. A lot of times when I speak to a lot of these youth today, they think that they're the first ones to have guns or they're the first ones to know about drugs. And it's like, look, I'm in the 2000s, I know about it. You go to the 90s, they know about it, the 80s. So it's like, learn from our situations, learn from our stories. But I feel like that's why it's important that we keep telling our stories more. And we highlight not just the bad, but the good that came out of that. Like you said, like for me, like it did a whole 360. I finished college.
Mm-hmm.
I started a company. I completely changed my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Chris, you're so inspiring. From when I first met you, your energy is incredible, and you know, there's so many young men and women that need brothers like you to help show them the way, because
That's right.
I feel like they in the new generation now, and I'm making myself sound kind of old, but
Well, you are.
everything is about
You old.
getting money or being on social media, Instagram, and doing all of that. Um, but to hear from someone that's your age, knowing what your backstory is and seeing what you're doing now, um, like I said, it's truly remarkable. And if there's a message that you would have for a younger generation, a kid who's 13, 14, 15, etc., what would you tell them?
Cook, get up and go cook. Like I personally, and this is just my honest truth, you know, uh, a lot of individuals, like, you want to get up every day. Don't aim to be rich. Aim to be okay. All right. Aim to find something that you love, what you're doing, and it'll be easy.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing too, and another thing that I strongly stress, especially for the young people, is keep trying. Don't be scared to fail. Like, that's how I got to where I'm at today. I was a failure all the time, failing constantly. Okay, trying something, didn't finish it. People doing this, that, and the third. I tried something new. I learned more, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to learn. Like, I think that's also the biggest thing, like, that I have gained from my experiences, is that I've been able to learn. I met you and I learned from you on the first day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm learning from you and Martin right now. And I constantly take feedback. And I think that's something that has been super helpful for me, because learning how to take feedback. Because sometimes you look at things and you think people are just coming at you.
That was not to interrupt, but that was going to be my next question. How did you learn how to take that feedback? And I'm not asking that now, but you're addressing it now, because if you was back in the streets and you was doing your things and you felt like you was Teflon Don and nobody could mess with you, and then you were hanging, you said, you were hanging with white people here, and I know you had to be involved with some people that underestimated you when it came to white people, and of course black people. We know when we underestimate ourselves, but when you're in an environment where you hadn't been before, from a group home to going through all that stuff, being on the streets and hanging with some white people, traveling with them, and then seeing how they treat you on both sides, and then meeting Lauren and actually bigging her up and saying, you're allowing things and people to come into your life so you can grow. And I see that within the community over the years, is that sometimes we get so tough and we get so tough skinned that we don't allow ourselves to grow and see things. We don't allow ourselves to get to those certain points. So I feel what you're saying. I just wanted to bring that up. I had to think out loud on that.
Nah, I totally agree with you. I totally agree. I think sometimes though, it's like I said, a lot of people are tired, brother, and a lot of people are tired. They're getting beat up at home, at the job, in life. You know, so me, like I'm learning that to myself. It takes a lot of patience. Not everybody can do this. This is why not everyone is doing it.
Oh yeah.
No, but like if you want to be successful, especially on the business frontier, though,
Mhm.
you got to be able to take feedback because even now they still underestimate me. But I don't let it trip me. I let the work show for itself. You know, I let the work show for itself, and I always make sure I own my stuff because
Owning
that's
your
always
stuff.
very important. If you don't own nothing, there's no conversation.
Mm,
There's no
that's
conversation to have. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to work with people, it's different. But once you own something, that's when you got something to play with.
What's the name of the app again?
It's called Youth Navigator NYC. If you type it in on Google, it'll be the first thing that pop up.
All right, go ahead, finish. I just want you, as a young man, I want you to be able, even though I know you know, but I want you to continue to say that. Like when you say we or I would love you to just tell so people every 5 minutes, because we're on the Instagram, we're on the YouTube,
It's
so
good.
people can hear what it's about and maybe get in contact with you when this is over, so you can get
Okay.
more funding and more support from people in the city, especially now that you guys got a new. I don't live in New York anymore. I retired. I moved to Indianapolis. That's where I'm sitting right now. But especially since you have, this new mayor in office, before he goes rogue, it's good to, let people know about your organization and what you're doing
Of
for
course,
the
of
city.
course. Youth Navigator NYC, like I said, youthnavigatorynyc.com. You can reach me on the platform. I'm always looking for feedback. Um, yeah, the platform has many different features. It has home buying features, finding home features.
Mm-hmm.
It helps you mental health services. It
Oh,
has an update with different civic exams for the jobs for the city jobs,
mm.
housing connect deadlines, the weather, the train schedule, whatever you need.
Wait, Housing Connect deadline? Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow, wow.
Yeah, yeah. And if you don't know what you're looking for, you just know what you need help with. We even have an eligibility checker, which
Uh-huh.
kind of really just gives you a preview of what actually would be eligibility for, like the numerical probability, which gives you a better idea,
A
and
what?
like
Say that again? Because you
the
get all my
numerical
head right.
probability of like the realistically of you being eligible for these different programs. I
Mm.
think that's important because a lot of times someone tells you that you're eligible for a program, you sign up or you look into it and you're not. Now that's like a whole day wasted. So instead of doing that, I built an eligibility checker, which kind of summarizes all the programs in New York City and gives individuals an exact idea of what they're eligible for.
And
And
you make
we have veteran services coming soon. We have senior services coming soon. Yeah, it's going to be a one-stop shop for all social services, anything that involves from crisis to senior care.
and this is not a nonprofit.
No, this is a for-profit company. My plan is to hire individuals who have lived experience. So if you have foster care lived experience, I want to hire you to work with helping foster care individuals find jobs. If you have justice initiative experience, basically meaning if you were locked up, I would hire you to work with individuals and help individuals who were locked up get jobs and housing and stuff like that. Same thing for mental health and etc.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that's also important. Why are these huge companies getting so much money and they don't look like us? They don't know what we are really going through.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They can't get the engagement up in our communities because they don't know our communities.
Right. Amazing.
right.
Amazing.
Right. And so Chris, you want to just tell us your social handles real quick where people can find
Yeah.
you if you have, or should we
Okay.
just have them go to the website for now?
Yeah, you can
And
go to the website or
Is that
you can
correct
find
on the
me at
screen?
huh?
Is that correct on the screen? Youth Navigator
NYC.
NYC.com?
Yes, yes. You
Okay.
can find me at youthnavigate@nyc.com or you can find me on LinkedIn, Chris Beverly.
and
Yeah.
Chris, Donald, I know what do we? How are we on time right now? Are we okay on time?
With time wise, we gotta You gotta wrap up.
Okay, so the question I have, I just wanted to know where we were at. What do you need help with? What do you need other than you just said you needed, you're going to be hiring people, so forth and so on. But what's the next thing that you need help with to continue to grow?
I need
Most importantly,
more users, more people using it would be great. I need more providers, because getting in touch with individuals who are providers, who are directors, allows me to have more access, which allows me to help more individuals. And we need more funding. Like, we're always looking for investment funding, VC funders, contacts with local community leaders, councilmen, senators, advocates, and etc. We're always looking to work with the community and individuals in the community. It's not just about a money thing; it's more about an access thing.
yeah.
So like, yeah, that's
Me
more
and
really
Donald
what it
get
is.
access to people. Believe it or not, we've done it
Yes,
many times, and we're going to continue to do that. And that's why these questions are very important. What you need. Have you had any pushback?
of course. I had a company.
Really?
Yeah, I had a company that helped me, like, in my life, trying to steal the entire company from me for $35,000.
Wow, for 35. That's it? They tried to
Yeah.
steal it? And
That's how they do you.
do you have legal advice around you so that won't happen again?
I
Or do you
mean,
need that also?
I have legal advice currently. Two. Lauren's also a lawyer, thank God. But
I didn't know that.
yeah. But my mom as well. Like, so,
Your
like,
mom's a lawyer also?
yeah. So, like, I'm very familiar with a lot of attorneys.
So how do yo,
Um,
hold on. I gotta ask you this question. So your mom is an attorney,
yeah.
right? And me and Donald always get into this stuff. We always talk about when we're young, because you're still young. But me and
Yeah.
Donald, I'm older than I know. We got to go in a minute. But you just brought that up. So your mom's a lawyer, and what does your father do?
My father wasn't really too crazy in my life like that.
So back to what I'm
Gotta skip
saying.
past it.
We're gonna get back. Next time we're gonna have you on the podcast again, because the question I have is: was it a choice for you to begin your young life like that? Even though you're still young, man, you're doing really great work at such a young age. Was it a choice, or were you forced into having your life? Because if you had a parent or parents there that were for you, then how did you end up where you were? And no judgment. It's just that sometimes it's that God has to let us go through things to get us to where we're at now. And I understand that.
I agree with that. I agree with that, because a lot of people think that having parents that have better jobs and make better money is a better thing, but it's not always a better thing. Because if you live in the hood and your parent is never there, you're gonna be susceptible to your environment,
Right.
not what your parent is teaching you.
Right. And
You know what I'm
you have
saying?
a great story.
And then your parent being a lawyer, being educated, being a worker is not gonna know how to respond to an individual who's
Who's like,
a
yo,
street.
fuck that.
Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say? So it's like,
Yeah.
a parent who's going to work and doing this and that comes home after 40, 60 hours, 100 hours a week, whatever, to a mini gangbanger. They're not going to want to be interactive. They're not even going to know how to interact with that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's very trying circumstances.
Well, I will tell you this. God bless you, man.
Thank
And
you.
keep up the good work. And just tell us one more time what it is you do. Not what you do, but tell us one more time. Give us a handle again of what's going on, and we're going to start closing out.
All right, like I said, my name is Chris Beverly. I'm the founder and owner of Youth Navigator NYC. We help youth and anyone around you find jobs, housing, mental health. Health is basically a one-stop shop for social services for all. And we're looking to hire and work with individuals who are advocates in the community or have lived experience to grow this. And thank you again for letting me on this podcast, and I appreciate everyone.
Absolutely. And Chris, I need you to do one last thing is
Okay.
we ask everybody to do, you look in that screen and you tell us your first and last name, and this is my road to legacy.
Okay. My name is Chris Beverly, and this is my road to legacy.
Chris. Thank you, brother. Thank
Woo!
you.
Yeah, see, you got to come back on because then you got to hear me and Donald go back and forth because I'm from 149th Street between. I'm from Harlem, Brooklyn. You know, see, you young, but back in the day when I was young, see, I was born.
It's still
way
like
back.
that. It's still like
Harlem
that.
and
Trust me.
Brooklyn was like this. You know what I'm saying?
Not no more.
Not no more. Now y'all are gentrified. Y'all got a little this. You got some Chinese people running around. Y'all got all types of stuff happening. And Donald's really from my way. He's from the Bronx.
I'm originally from the Bronx. Yes,
but
that's
he don't want
Okay.
He don't want to claim it because he's in Brooklyn now, living.
Nah, I will always claim the BX. Get out of here. All day.
Yeah, all right,
Brooklyn the best though, so it don't matter. You know?
Oh no, I don't know about all that.
Brooklyn really is the best though.
149th Street. That's all.
Nah, Flatbush.
Yo, Chris, thank you again, brother. It was an absolute pleasure. And we will see you and talk to you again soon.
All right, y'all.
Thank you so much, and please come back, man.
I will.
Be honored, man. We're gonna pick up your name and try to get you some people.
Thank you.
All right, God bless. Later.
All right, Doc. So I need to. We're gonna wrap things up. This was another great episode of Road to Legacy podcast, and we thank you all again for tuning in. Much more to come. Please hit that subscription button and like and keep spreading love.
And please, and realize that just really quickly before we go, that we are definitely doing something with the Ruby Bridges Foundation. We did something with Heart Share last week. Ruby Bridges Foundation is going to be huge out here in Indianapolis. We're also doing something with a group in Indianapolis called Indy Juneteenth, where we're taking youth to Atlanta for a financial
Invest Fest
festival. It's called Invest Fest, and it's going to be great.
Sir.
So Road to Legacy is doing their thing. RSL is doing their thing. Me and Donald are trying to give back to the community and to you. And also on my TikTok, please check out our TikTok because I'm going to start telling people about organizations and places you can go to better yourself other than just talking about the knucklehead that's in office right now. So,
all right.
Love you. God bless.
Love you guys. God bless. Peace.
Maya Angelou said, if you're going to live, leave a legacy. Make a mark on the world that can't be erased. I'm Martin. This is Donald and Curtis. We're native New Yorkers. Welcome to season 3 of the Road to Legacy podcast.
Together, Martin and I have worked in hospitality for about almost 40 years. And we've been truly blessed to meet people from all walks of life. And in those conversations, it led us to question, what is legacy? What is the driving force that motivates people to do what it is that they do? That passion led us to create the Road to Legacy podcast.
And hey, I'm Curtis, the newest passenger on this Road to Legacy podcast, a student, lover of history, and I'm just super enthused, man, to be along for the ride with my brothers, discussing, debating life, politics, and race, and everything in between. Just hope you come and join us on this quest of seeking, learning, and above all, leaving a legacy. Grace and peace from the Road to Legacy.